Chapter 16. Their third day in Hawaii dawned with the gentle sound of waves against the shore, the kind of morning that seemed untouched by time. Sunlight spilled through the curtains of their ocean view room at the Hilton Hawaiian Village, casting a golden glow across the bed where Azalea still slept peacefully. Declan lay beside her, his eyes open and heart pounding. For her, it was just another perfect day in paradise. For him, it was a ticking clock, each passing moment pulling him closer to the life-changing question he'd been carrying in secret. Azalea stirred and blinked sleepily, her hair tousled and beautiful. Good morning," she murmured, stretching with a dreamy smile. "Morning," Declan said, forcing his voice to sound steady. He brushed a strand of hair from her face and kissed her forehead. They headed down to the resort's open-air cafe for breakfast. The smell of rich Kona coffee and fresh pineapple filled the air as they sat at a table overlooking the ocean. Azalea sipped her coffee, completely at ease, while Declan picked at a plate of mango and papaya, his appetite nowhere to be found. "You're quiet this morning," she said, tilting her head. "Everything okay?" Declan smiled a little too quickly. "Yeah, just soaking it all in." Azalea reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "Good. I want you to enjoy this as much as I am." He squeezed back, his thumb brushing her knuckles. "I am enjoying it," he thought. "I just can't tell you why my heart won't stop racing." By mid-morning, they were stretched out on the golden sand of Waikiki Beach, the rhythmic hush of the waves blending with the distant strum of ukuleles. Azalea lay on a bright beach towel, wearing a light teal bikini beneath a breezy wrap. She tilted her face toward the sun, eyes closed in bliss. Declan sat beside her in his gray swim shorts, staring out at the horizon. "This feels unreal," Azalea said, sighing happily. "If I could freeze a moment forever, it would be this." Declan's heart squeezed. He almost blurted it out right then. "I want to freeze every moment with you forever," but bit his tongue. Instead, he said, "I know, it's perfect." They waded into the water together, the cool surf splashing around their legs. Azalea laughed as she flicked water at him, her joy infectious. "Declan, you're supposed to defend yourself." "Oh, it's on now," he said, scooping her into his arms and spinning her around as she squealed with laughter. For a few minutes, his nerves melted away, replaced by pure happiness. Later, as they dried off under a palm tree, Azalea rested her head on his shoulder. "Do you ever think about the future?" she asked softly. "Like what comes after all this?" Declan's breath caught. "All the time," he said carefully. "I just like to imagine us together no matter what." Azalea smiled, oblivious to the weight of his words. "Me too." After lunch at a beachside food truck, Declan excused himself, claiming he wanted to check out a local shop they'd passed earlier. "Don't buy too many souvenirs without me," Azalea teased, lounging under a striped umbrella. Declan kissed her cheek. "I won't be long." He walked briskly through the resort until he found the event planner he'd been coordinating with for weeks. A young woman in a floral dress greeted him with a knowing smile. "Mr. Mawson, everything is set for tomorrow evening. The spot will be ready at sunset." Declan's pulse thundered. "Thank you, just please make sure it stays a surprise. She can't know a thing." The planner laughed softly. "Don't worry, she won't suspect a thing." Declan left with his nerves on edge, glancing around to make sure Azalea hadn't followed. By the time he returned to the beach, she was happily sipping a cold drink, none the wiser. As evening settled, they returned to their room and stepped out onto the balcony. The sky was a masterpiece of pinks, oranges, and purples, the Pacific shimmering beneath it like molten glass. Azalea leaned against the railing, her eyes reflecting the glow of the setting sun. "This trip has been the happiest I've ever been," she said softly. "Thank you for bringing me here, Declan. You have no idea what it means to me." Declan swallowed hard. "I think I do," he whispered, wrapping his arms around her from behind. They stood in silence for a long moment, watching as the sun sank beneath the horizon. Declan's mind screamed to seize the moment, to pull out the ring and tell her everything. But no, tomorrow would be perfect. He just had to wait one more day. That night, they walked hand in hand along the resort's winding paths, tiki torches casting warm light across their faces. Azalea was radiant, her laughter soft and free. Declan held her hand tighter than usual, his thumb tracing small circles against her skin. "You're extra cuddly tonight," she teased. "Just happy," he said, his voice husky with emotion. When they returned to their room, Azalea curled up beneath the sheets almost immediately, exhaustion pulling her toward sleep. Declan sat on the edge of the bed, watching her breathing steady. His gaze drifted to the safe where the ring rested. Tomorrow, he thought, his heart pounding. Tomorrow, everything changes. He slipped into bed beside her, wrapping her in his arms. She sighed softly in her sleep, completely unaware of the storm of love and nerves swirling inside him. Outside, the ocean whispered against the shore, counting down the hours to a moment that would define the rest of their lives.